We're now going to look at HTML tables. So we're going to insert a table into our website and look at the code required for that. So if you think of a table, think of something like Microsoft Excel. You have the ability to arrange data into rows and columns. So we can go horizontal and vertical. We can then change the way the border looks and the colors and the style. So in HTML, the table tag is what we use to put a table in. Each table row is defined by a TR tag. So that's every table row. Each table header is defined by a TH tag. So TR for table row, TH for table header. And then each table data cell, so each cell with data in it, is defined by a TD tag. So TR, TH, and TD. By default, anything in the table header is bold and centered, and any text in the TD for our cell is regular and aligned to the left. So let's have a look at what a table might look like. So I've got my table tag opened and closed. I want to start a row, so I'm going to go TR. Inside the row, I'm going to want some headings. Table heading, first name, table heading, last name. Table heading, age. So if we look at our preview, you'll see I've got first name, last name, age that have appeared. I'm then going to close my table row. So what I want to do now is I want to put some data into that. So some data into the cells underneath. So now I'm going to go TD. And I've now filled out the cells with the TD attribute. So table row gives me the row, the table headers are there, and then I've done the table data underneath. That fills that out. So that is a HTML table. So you're aware, inside the TD, you can put links, you can put images, you can put all sorts of data into that. Let's add a border to it. Now to do any of the styling, we're going to go to the CSS. So I'm going to jump across to my main.css document, and the selector is table. I'm talking to the table tag, and I'm going to play around with the TH and the TD attributes. Open and close my curly braces. I want to add a border because I want a table to appear around it. I want it to be 1 pixel thick, and I want it to be solid and black. So when I look at my preview now, I've got a border around my table. Now you'll see how the border has a little bit of a gap in between it. Let's say we want that to be just a smooth, straight one line, so we want it to collapse into each other. So I'm going to add the CSS rule, border, collapse, and I'm going to write collapse. And you'll see now that looks more like a traditional cell that we would see in something like Microsoft Excel. Now I want to add some padding. Padding is going to be the space between the border and the text. So I want to add some padding into this. I'm going to type padding, and I'm going to pick my values. I'm going to say 15 pixels. And now look at the space between all of those. So now let's say we want this table to actually take up the whole width of our web page. I'm going to go table, open close curly braces, width 100%. And my table there. The reason I've done this down on its own is because if I put it in here, it's going to apply it just to this attribute. So I want the width of the entire table, not just one of these, to go to 100%. If you want to make specific changes to multiple different tables, you can use the ID value that we used previously. So if I was going to my index and I had more than one table, and I wanted different settings for each one, I can simply, in the table tag, give it an ID. So ID equals, I can say table 1. And then when I go to my main.css, when I'm talking in here, I can talk, instead of to both tables, I can do here hash TO1, which is table 1, and you'll notice that table 1 is the only one whose width changes. So you can talk to different tables by giving them an ID. You're also able to change background color, and you can do that even just for cells. So let's say I don't want the background color for everything to change. I want it just for a particular section. I'm now going to go #TO1, and I'm just going to change the cell's background color. And that's how I get the cells to only change to grey.